Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I need to apologize for my live feed, people, because I've been having difficulty with the live feed during the time that is normally reserved for community poetry, which used to be at Half Price Books. I'm sorry, Tom Woodruff, that we are not able to do that anymore, but in honor of that, I'm doing that here. I think I have one live feed that I'm going to pull off, but I'm recording other readings during this time in honor of that I'd like to be able to share with you. And this one that I'm going to do with you is an essay from the collection book from cc&d magazine. This is September to December 2022. Issue is titled Unable to Escape It. Can I put my hand there to try to emulate that? I don't know if I can. Anyway, Unable to Escape It is the name of the book. And not only is it in this collection book, but it's also in the early release of a book from Cyberwit. It's actually the essay right at the end of the Cyberwit book that was released during Women's History Month called Shattering the Glass Ceiling. Another book? 2 books? You've got to be kidding me. So it's in this book, Unable to Escape It, from cc&d magazine, and it's also in Shattering the Glass Ceiling. So I'm going to share with you this one essay that is in this book. It's right at the end of this book, and it is titled Sexism in General. As I grew up, I did what I thought was expected of me. I didn't bring up unmentionable subjects to my parents. I didn't burp out loud. I didn't complain. And I didn't know why. And it wasn't that my parents or my teachers or my peers were trying to cram a certain lifestyle down my throat. It was just the norm, what was expected, what everyone was used to. But the more time I spent on my own, the more I questioned how I was supposed to act, what I was supposed to say, and how I was supposed to dress, what I was supposed to like. I saw the way that men treated women in relationships, how women primarily reacted to the things men did instead of acting on their own. I also saw women feel like they were being pushed around, like they were being treated unfairly. And then I saw some statistics about rape. That 1 in 4 women are raped by the time they leave college. That 1 in 3 women will be raped in their lifetimes. That over 80% of college-age rapes are committed by someone the victim knew. And then I thought about how women are degraded and objectified in pornography, or how they're treated unfairly in the workplace. There's a different set of rules for women to follow versus men in society. And all these rules are designed to let women know that their place is behind men. I looked at history. Wedding ceremonies have the father give away his daughter, his possession, to a man she could love, honor, and obey, in a ceremony conducted by a man under a rule of a male god. And virgin women have been sacrificed throughout history to assorted gods. Ancient Chinese adolescent women have had their feet bound for months so that their feet would be petite, but deformed and useless for walking because the inability to move was considered attractive to rich men. Some tribes have made it a custom to add tight rings around women's necks, continually adding more to elongate the neck, while other tribes pierce women's ears and put successively larger rings inside the holes to stretch the earlobes down past their shoulder. Women were hunted and killed in colonial America for being witches, when they were in fact no more than individuals that practiced independent, rational thought in a society that didn't like their women to think. I looked at the way our parents were raised. The women were expected to work only during wartime, and they only were to assist men to work in menial tasks. They were otherwise expected to cook for the family, to clean the house, to then please the husband. The man was the owner of the castle, worked during the day to make his life possible for his family, and expected to be pampered by his wife and children when he got home. And then I looked at the way that I was raised. I was given dolls and pretty pink dresses, and was encouraged to play with my best friend indoors instead of roughhousing outside with the group. My hair was long and curled for special occasions, and I listened to my elders, and especially if they were the male ones. Then I looked around me. Advertising in Hollywood demanded beautiful bodies and their brainless women while blindly following their leading man. The workplace had female secretaries serving the male CEOs, wearing skirts and makeup and pantyhose and high heels and being called babe. Speaking of language, even the language I heard around me, from being called a pumpkin to a tomato to a peach, made me feel like I was placed on this earth to be consumed, not to be a human being. So I started to work for acquaintance rape education groups, running seminars, making posters and brochures and the like for women who were in pain and felt like they had no place else to turn. And the more I saw this pain on such a wide scale, the more angry I got. I'm an intelligent woman, I thought, and I, as well as all women, don't deserve to be treated like this. Although I'm no longer working for any women's groups, I still feel like I am fighting. But what I am fighting for and how I'm fighting for it is different from how the average person thinks of a woman crusader. I'm fighting for people to look at women as people first, before they assume we are less intelligent, less strong, or less valuable. I am fighting through my writing because of the way I think. Because through the way I think, through my example, for men to think of women as being on the same level as them, to look at women as their equals. I guess I'm fighting for feminism. The definition of feminism, according to Webster's 9th New Collegiate Dictionary, is, quote, the theory of the political, economic, and social equality of the sexes. That's it. It doesn't mean women should get a job before a man just because she's a woman and has had bad breaks. It doesn't mean that women have to dress and look like men if they don't want to. It doesn't mean pornography should be made illegal, and it doesn't mean that all women should hate all men. In practice, it means we should have the same opportunities as men. The choice to take the opportunities is up to the individual and not to the sex. In theory, it means that we should not be looked at as inferior solely because we are female. In other words, we should not be treated unfairly because of the choices that we as individuals make if we have every right to make those choices. It is because of the way that women are looked at in society that there are political, economic, and social disparities between the sexes. It is because of ideas, not laws. These ideas create a spectrum of sexism that starts at things as innocent as jokes and cute nicknames, moves to catcalls on the streets, to harassment at the workplace, to unequal pay for equal work, and then moves on to things as cruel and as painful as wife-beating and rape. All of these things, severe or tame, stem from the idea that women are inferior. And all of these things contribute to the inequality between the sexes. They all are manifestations of the same idea, only at different degrees. A friend of mine told me about how she was in the Soviet Union after the revolution. Stalin and the government wanted to make sure all people were equal, that women were free from the economic dependency of men, and so they enacted laws to make women work and industrialize the country. The idea about the role of women in society did not change. And in the post-revolution economic crisis, not only did these women have to work, but they also had to stand in line for rations of bread. Household chores were still women's tasks. The rules changed, but the ideas stayed the same. When women were asked whether they were happier after the revolution or before, they said before, because at least then they didn't have to work as well as do their expected chores. I'm not trying to enact any laws. I'm not trying to twist anyone's arm. A change doesn't occur in a free society by forcing rules down people's throats. What I'm trying to do in my books as well as in my life is make both men and women think about the conflicts between the sexes and all of their manifestations, why they occur, and what effect they have on our society. To think, and then to act. It's fascinating that that is an essay that was right in the back of the cyberwit.net book that was released of my own poetry that was during Women's History Month just under a year ago, called Shattering the Glass Ceiling. That's not the primary reason why I was reading that book, of that piece though. It also is in the newly released Scars Publications. I'm the editor for cc&d magazine for the issue collection book from December 2022 issues titled Unable to Escape It. I'm going to try to do my hand to match my hand in the book. Blah, unable to escape it, man. Unable to escape it. If you are interested in literary stuff, you can always go to cc&d magazine at Scars Publications. Scars.tv/ccd is the web address for that. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, a lot of poetry as well as long stories from assorted different people. And if you're looking for things on women's issues, this is not a book that I have published, but it is one by cyberwit.net. You can find both of them through Amazon, I'm sure. I'm not trying to sell. I'm just trying to share literary stuff with the world. I want to thank everyone for listening, including the people on the live feed. Hi, thank you, thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tolerating that. I have no idea how you guys back at home are thinking of that as you're hearing that. But this is read during the community poetry reading time that was an open mic space here in North Austin that I would always diligently go to, and I would sit around a bunch of books and read material from new Scars Publications book releases, like this one. And Tom Woodruff isn't running it any longer, but in his honor, I am doing this reading now. This, I was running late. I've had problems with the live feed, so this was the earliest I could pull off for you. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any other readings during this time, but I will have readings, because I don't know how my live feed is going, but I will have readings that I will put up on YouTube video clips in the next month. Thank you all so very much for listening. I want everyone to stay creative. I want everyone to stay safe. If you haven't been vaccinated and you can, then shame on you. Take care of yourself, because there are a lot of people that have a lot of difficulties, and any assistance that we can get, even if it's from Big Brother, I mean our government, from a free vaccine, might as well take it. So stay safe, stay strong, stay creative, and I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you very, very soon. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.